Hey everyone, and welcome to this $1,400 stimulus check update and third stimulus package update. And as you probably know by now, the Senate has officially passed the bill for this $1.9 trillion spending plan, including stimulus checks, unemployment help, and much, much more. There's basically two final steps that it has to go through, but it looks like Democrats now have exactly what they need in order to get this made official by Joe Biden's signature and get the stimulus checks sent out and all the other money that's earmarked for this bill to start going out. Hey everyone, my name is Randy. Welcome back to the Late Night Grind. I'm covering these stimulus check updates because it's really interesting to me. So if you're new to the channel and you want to follow along, go ahead, click that subscribe button, tap the bell notification icon, and you'll be notified when I release a new video, which I do when I get new information. Don't forget, if you want to support this channel, best thing you can do is go ahead, smash that like button. It really helps out with that YouTube algorithm. All right, well, let's get into it. So late Saturday morning, the Senate passed by a margin of 50 to 49 the $1.9 trillion stimulus plan. So what we're going to do is take a look at some time frames as to when stimulus checks are going to be sent out, as well as some of the other items that were actually passed and included in this bill. Now, of course, the one we've been hearing the most about for the past couple of months, the one that all the search activity is about, and why everybody watches the majority of these YouTube channels is, of course, about the stimulus checks. They will be for $1,400 for every tax filer. And not only that, it will be for every dependent and adult dependent. Now keep in mind, adult dependents were left out of the last two stimulus packages. So this is the first one where they would actually qualify. These stimulus checks will be sent to the person who is actually on the tax return, as well as for all the dependents listed on that person's tax return. So $1,400 for each person, and there is no limit to the amount of dependents that will be receiving these $1,400, as long as the tax filer qualifies and comes in under the income limits. As of right now, $75,000 per single and under, and $150,000 per couple and under qualify for the whole $1,400 stimulus check. Now, more recently, in the past couple of days, Joe Manchin wanted this bill to be a little more targeted, so they basically negotiated a very, very small phase out. So if you make over $80,000 as a single, you won't get any stimulus check. And if you make over $160,000 as a couple, you will not get any stimulus check. And that little bit in between there, that's where the phase out will begin. You'll still get a stimulus, just might not be as much. Also included in this plan is expanded child tax credits. If the child is under the age of 17 and over the age of 6, they will qualify for a $3,000 per year child tax credit. If they're 6 years of age and under, they will qualify for a $3,600 tax credit. What they're basically now doing is allowing people to take these tax credits in the form of monthly checks to help pay bills. It's estimated that almost 50% of the children that are currently in poverty will be lifted out of poverty by sending these monthly checks. Now, this will start to happen in July and will finish up in December of 2021. The remainder of the child tax credit will, of course, be able to be claimed on your tax return and get that as a tax credit at that point. Unemployment benefits and extensions. This is something that was also negotiated by Joe Manchin more recently. And there was a little bit of a give and take between Joe Biden and Joe Manchin. And so what it's going to be now is if you're on unemployment, you will qualify for the $300 per week unemployment insurance boost. And originally, the bill that the House of Representatives passed, this boost was given until the end of August. However, they dropped it from $400 to $300. However, they extended it for another month from August to the end of September. And to offset that unemployment insurance, which is going from $400 to $300, or I should say staying at $300, which is where it is right now, the Biden administration has agreed to let the first $10,200 of unemployment money be tax-free. So if you're unemployed and have been paying taxes on that unemployment so far in 2021, you'll then be able to claim that as tax-free money. So depending on if your state makes you take out taxes before they send it to you, or if they send you the full unemployment and then rely on you to actually withhold those taxes and pay them at tax time, like I said, the first $10,200 will be tax-free, which basically equates to an extra anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000, depending on what the rest of your tax return looks like, which is essentially more than doubling your stimulus check for 2021. One thing notably missing from this is the $15 an hour minimum wage hike, which this was opposed by not just Republicans, but it turns out 8 Democrats voted against it as well. The Senate had a vote on it yesterday on whether or not to actually include it or find some way to include it in this stimulus plan. Bernie Sanders wanted, he was pushing hard for this, but it did not pass. It wasn't really even close. That is not being included in this stimulus plan. There is also plenty of money for housing aid going into this. Approximately $20 billion are going to help low-income households with back rent or mortgage assistance, rent assistance, utility bills, things like that. Another big part of this, of course, is the money to reopen schools. Approximately $130 billion is being allocated for K through 12 schools to help them reopen safely, so it's going to be a lot more money for PPP, personal protective gear, enhanced testing, things like that. There will also be included about $40 billion for colleges and universities for pretty much the same thing. This bill is also including about $15 billion for the EIDL grant program for small businesses that have really been affected the most by the pandemic, and specifically for programs for bars and restaurants, $25 billion has been allocated to help out those kinds of companies. There's also another round of Paycheck Protection Program, $7 billion. And of course, about $48 billion is being allocated towards vaccine distribution and enhanced testing throughout the country. And so as we look to these different items, and when they start going out will vary depending on when the need arises. As we know, Republicans kept saying, well, there's still about $1 trillion that haven't been spent from the last two stimulus packages. Why can't we include that in this stimulus package? And they have a point. So obviously not all of this money is going to go out right away, but what we do know is that stimulus checks are going to go out first. So here's the time frame that we are looking at. The House of Representatives is going to take this up for a vote on Tuesday, or more than likely on Tuesday. They will then vote on it, pass it very quickly, and get it over to Joe Biden's desk for signature, whether that happens Tuesday or Wednesday. They basically said they just want to get to his desk before March 14th, when some of those enhanced unemployment benefits actually lapse. If that's the case, Joe Biden's signature is going to go on it. The IRS will be notified to begin sending these stimulus checks out. The last round of $600 stimulus checks, some people, the very first people, began receiving these direct deposits in their bank account as soon as 3 days. However, it did take about 2 weeks for the IRS to get in full swing and deliver these direct payments to the majority of people. And then, of course, about 20 to 30% of people got that money in the form of paper checks and debit cards, which had to be sent through the mail. Obviously delayed things several more weeks. So the IRS has actually told us this time around that they have a method now of streamlining this and will be able to deliver direct deposits, and even faster from the last time around when they sent $600 checks. So it could be as early as the week of the 15th at some point. They may start sending out checks. If not, it will most likely be the 20th or the 21st, in which the IRS would start sending out direct deposits to the very first people. So that's the time frame we're looking at now. This may change on a daily basis until we actually get there. So in the meantime, don't forget to click that subscribe button and follow along, watch these daily updates that I do on the stimulus package, because I'm certainly following it because it's of great interest to myself. So if you want to follow along as well, please hit that subscribe button. And I started doing this a few weeks ago in some of my other videos. I'm really curious to know what you guys plan on spending your $1,400 stimulus checks on. Of course, if you have a family with multiple kids, you'll be getting significantly more than that. I'm just real curious if you're spending this on something like rent that's due, or just putting some food on the table, or maybe you're getting ready for spring and summer. I'm sure many families will be itching to use that family to go on some sort of maybe small family vacation or buying something for the backyard. In any case, let me know in the comments section below what you guys are planning on doing. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button for this video, and I'll see you guys on the next video.